Okay, I am here with Tomas Jenneborg, CEO of Reactional Music in Stockholm. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
Hi, Dimitri. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. I'm really excited to talk to you. I've been following Reactional Music, and this will be a fun, quick hit on what you're up to. So, what is Reactional Music, and how does it relate to the topic of new licensing revenue for the music industry?
Let's start with the problem. So, the game industry uses these user acquisition ads called UA, and these are the ads that these are the ads you normally see when you're in a platform, social media or YouTube or whatever, and you get interrupted for 30 seconds or so, and in the end, you get this download button, and it could be videos, it could be mini games, etc. And the gaming industry spends roughly 25 to 30 billion a year on these kind of ads.
Wow.
These are huge numbers.
Yeah.
And the kicker here is that the music industry is getting none of it today. So that's it. That's what we're trying to solve here. So we're trying to help the game industry with the clearance part, the commercial terms that actually fit the UA model. And what really makes us stand out that we have a music engine that syncs the gameplay to the song in real time. So we're letting game publishers to use hit music at scale with different games and ads. In practice, this means that you have one ad and you can do several versions of that ad with different kind of songs and just test them against each other. So, that's what we do, and we're currently working with some of the largest game publishers in the world on the gaming side, and on the music side, we're in the process of clearing entire catalogs, but also clearing individual tracks between 200 million up to 3 billion streams. And we also look at the RA database for gold and platinum hits.
Wow, so this is not gaming as a whole. It's very specific. It's specifically about using music inside of these ads. That is, do I have that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So
Wow.
they're called playables or videos.
Got you. Oh, I understand. Okay, got it. Um, that's so interesting. Why did you guys select that specific aspect of gaming rather than, say, just licensing music into gaming overall?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I mean, I ran into Jesper Nordin, one of the founders, a year ago or so when I started at Reactional. And he really told me about the company and all that. And I mean, it's a great team, but they were really focusing on in-game music in the beginning. Problem with that is that it's pretty long lead times, and they were focusing on new games and music-oriented games, etc. And we were just testing different ways on how to make this faster and make this work in a more efficient way. And we did this test with UA because we thought like, okay, maybe marketing teams are normally quite quick on new ideas. They like to test new things. And then we did this test in UA with a medium-sized game publisher that are pretty big. It was a card game, and we tested the UA with a song called Return of the Mac, and the results were incredible. And then if you just look at the macro data that's shared, like this is a huge market with they're spending over 30 billion right now. We just thought like, okay, this makes total sense. We got data, we got, the macro trend is saying that the music industry is missing out here because they're not really monetizing anything on this. So we just saw an opportunity and just went for it.
Well, that's really cool. So, yeah, it's interesting. We've had a lot of different types of startups and founders on the podcast, and sometimes you think you're going down one path, and you find kind of the side path is the place to go. How did you get into this, Thomas?
Yeah, as mentioned earlier, I ran into Jesper Nordin here in Stockholm, and he told me about the team and what they were doing, and I just looked at the tech. I just found that it was a great team. I just wanted to help out. The only thing that they hadn't managed to scale up the business and found a model that was fast enough or big enough to make this work. And yeah, I just like the opportunity and the team. We have great people. We have Kelly Sumner, which is the chairman and main investor. He was ex CEO of Take Two and Red Octane, and lots of the biz dev people are from Spotify, EA, Activision. So I just thought it was a great opportunity to be part of.
Yeah. We had Ola Saris from Soundtrack here on this episode he told us that background music in stores, retail, commercial spaces, public basically is a $40 billion market. It's part of painting this picture of how do we grow the market for music. You mentioned that on these ads they're spending $30 billion. Gaming companies are spending $30 billion on these user acquisition strategy. How big is the gaming market for music?
Just on that part, based on our own numbers, we believe that the music industry is missing out on 1.5, 2 billion a year right now, as is. And yeah, I mean, we can really confirm that based on the current game publishers that we're working with. I mean, the current game publishers that we have right now have combined budgets of roughly 600 million, and they're sharing all the data and how everything performs. So yeah, we're quite certain of that the music industry is actually missing out on billions here rather than millions. Yeah, of course. So you have in-game purchases, that is a market of over 70 billion a year in games. And music hasn't really found a way yet, but we believe that music could easily be 10% on top of that. So just to do a quick math, we're thinking about 7 billion. And we're actually doing a project on that next year with one pretty big game that we're testing in-game music as a purchase, and that could be combined with a visual, like let's say you buy a skin together with a song or something. So it doesn't have to be just a track; it can be combined with different kinds of stuff. Well, I mean, the traditional sync model already exists within the music industry, and where you actually have one hero song with one game, etc. Or you also have game production music. So I would say that what's really untapped is the one we're doing right now with UA, because again, you have a $30 billion market and music has none of it. I mean, for me, it's actually the first time I hear of that. I mean, these are actually ads, and music is not being hasn't been able to monetize that. That for me is super strange as an outsider for a few months ago. So I was just looking at that and I didn't really understand it. How come that we have a $30 billion market with ads and music has none of it? Because we already know that music performs. We understand that if you actually have good music on the ads, that will perform better. It's a no-brainer. So for me, that's kind of easy 1.52 billion to the industry that hasn't been moved, and that's why we're doing this. And then in the actual in-game as well, which is longer lead times because it takes longer just to have it in the live ops. But for sure, over time, that would probably be between 5 to 10 billion. Yeah, we yeah, we say that music is a performance engine. So we already had the data that shows that music actually drives install uplifts and also keeps the retention. And these are important metrics to the gaming industry. And if there's an industry that actually looks at metrics, it's the gaming industry. So we kind of sell performance. We don't sell music to them. Well, we help the companies with three parts, and I think that kind of gives the answer. So one is the tech part, where in UA, for instance, you want to test different things all the time. You want to test different songs. So if you have one ad and I'm going to do five variations, that volume kind of grows up because the gaming companies test roughly 200 to 400 ads per month. And take that times five, you can't do any manual coding. So that's why you need kind of good technical tool, and that hasn't existed before. And that's what we are providing. The second part, which is a pain point, is the clearance. There's so many stakeholders out there, and it's a mess just to understand where to start. So we're helping with that as well. We see ourselves as a one-stop for the gaming industry. And the third part, which is equally important, are the commercial terms. You know, as I told you, the game industry have huge budgets, but they pay dollar per dollar as long as it's performing. And the music industry doesn't really work like that. They have this kind of traditional sync fees that you pay in advance, and you don't really know if the song is going to perform. And what we're saying is like, we'll take care of that, and that we give access to several songs to the game publishers, and they can just test it, and we will know that one of the songs will actually perform, and pay back the rest. Thank you. Thanks for having me.